Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new 112 Collective Doctor Strange figure from Mezco Toys. And really quick, let's take a look at the box. Here's the front of it. You have the Sanctum Sanctorium window design there in the center, same thing on the side of the box. And then on the back of the box, you get a look at the figure with all the cool accessories that he comes with. Then down at the bottom, you have a bunch of shots that are pretty much the promotional shots that we've seen before. And once you take the slipcover off, you're able to see the figure itself along with all the cool accessories that he comes with. And as always, I do like this box. It's collector friendly, but it's a little bit big. They're hard to store. I wish they would go with the exclusive box style for their standard releases, but they don't. But it's okay. It's a nice packaging, but let's get into the figure. And here's Doctor Strange right out of the box, and my first impression of the figure is that Mezco did a really nice job with it. There are a couple flaws, but nothing major, just a few things that I wish were a little bit different. But I really like the Mezco take on the classic Doctor Strange look, because it definitely screams classic Doctor Strange, but it's a little bit different. They did a couple things to make him look a little bit more interesting, and I'm really happy with that. I think what they did here was really nice. So let's take a look at the details here. You can see there's some added detail on the uniform, and what they did here is nice. You've got the Eye of Agamotto right there that looks really cool. You have some gold details there. You have the sash around his waist, and I like what they did here. It's actually tied in place, or it's attached. It's not going to come loose. Shazam had a sash just like this, but I feel like his could be untied. Doctor Strange's cannot be untied, so I like what they did there. Then down here you got the pants that I feel like these added details are unnecessary. It's not like they look bad, but I don't know why they didn't just go with black pants, but you know, it's okay. I guess it gives it that more far out psychedelic look, so you know, that's okay. It's not like it's a bad thing or anything. And then down here you have the feet that are really similar to the Mezco symbiote suit Spider-Man, but these ones work really good. Though the Spider-Man ones did too, but for some people it seems like they didn't. So far I haven't really seen anyone say that their ankles on their Doctor Strange figures don't work, so that's good. And it's the same kind of style where the cloth covers the whole joint, so that's nice. Let's see what else we got going on here. On the back you have some more details very similar to the front. And one of the big flaws I have with this figure is the collar. The collar looks pretty nice, except I don't really like inside there. It kind of gets bunched up and messy where the threads are. I wish that was a little bit more discreet. It's not horrible, especially if you have the collar popped up, then it's hidden in there, so that's okay. And another thing is you could kind of see this little silver lining on the collar, and I think that's in there so that you could kind of manipulate it a little bit, but it kind of comes through the cloth, and that sucks a little bit. I kind of thought it was just mine, but then I saw on the Mezco little preview of the Doctor Strange video they did a week ago or so, theirs had a similar thing, so I guess that's just how it is. It doesn't look hideous, but it did catch my eye, and I think it could have been done a little bit cleaner. But yeah, other than that, I love the way this figure looks. And it looks like it's the same body as Joker, or maybe very similar to the Joker body. So I think that's a good build for Doctor Strange. One thing that's kind of crazy about this figure too is the pants, because if you mess with the figure and you're posing it, then the pants could definitely fall down and start to sag, as you could see there. But luckily they're not attached, so you could just bring the shirt up, bring the pants up, and then you're good to go. And I think I like that they did it this way better than how they've done it in the past, because in the past, with Shazam for example, again, it's all just one piece or it's all attached, so you know, his pants sag a lot and there's nothing really you could do about it. So here, if Doctor Strange's pants start to sag, you could just pull them up and then you're good to go. And now here's Doctor Strange with this cape, and this cape is beautiful. I love this thing. It's probably one of my favorite capes I've seen on an action figure. It pretty much just has a wire on the front. It has a wire on this side here and a wire on this side, so you could pose it and manipulate it. There is no wire on the back. And I'm kind of okay with that, because then that way you could have the cape kind of just flowing and have a natural look to it, and let these wires up here do the posing. And these wires aren't really as thin as I initially thought they were. They're actually holding up okay. I've been messing with it a lot and I have no fear of them breaking or anything. And the cape is held on by magnets. And I like to kind of tuck the little pieces of the cape under the Eye of Agamotto. I think that looks the best. But yeah, they are held on by magnets, as you could see. They're pretty strong magnets. They stick right onto him. They're under his clothes. You could kind of see where they're at. And having the cape magnetized onto Doctor Strange is kind of leaving an indentation on the design here. So that's something you got to kind of be aware of. But I do like what they did with the cape and the magnet and stuff. I think that that's a really good idea, and I like that it's a really strong magnet, so you don't have to worry about it falling down. And then you also have a wire up here on the collar piece of the cape, so I think that's really cool too. You could manipulate that a little bit. And yeah, I just love this cape a lot. It looks really, really nice. And then you have this really nice looking head sculpt that is a perfect Doctor Strange facial expression, and just sculpt in general is perfect for Doctor Strange. I do wish that he came with another head, maybe with like all white eyes or something, or just something so that we could show him using his magic or just some kind of expression. But you know, if they're only going to give us one head sculpt, it helps that it's as good as this one here. So I'm very happy with this head sculpt. And like most Mezco figures, he has a bunch of different sets of hands, and the only two hands that are alike are the fists. Other than that, he has a open wide hand for his right side, and then he also has a spell casting hand for his right side. And then for the left, we have a flat hand. And then he has another spell casting hand that kind of looks like he's making a gun with his hand, which is cool because then you could do the Run the Jewels logo. He comes with the yellow spell effect, and he also comes with the blue spell effect. And the way that the spell effects work is that this part here is really soft plastic, so you're able to wrap it around his forearm. You just have to work it around his open hand. That's the only thing that kind of gets a little frustrating because his fingers get caught into the spell effect up here, you know. But the part that grips his arm is really soft plastic, so it goes on there pretty easy, and it does hold on pretty good. And I like this spell effect a lot. Check it out. You have like a triangle and other designs in there. And then with the blue one too, you have a star and other designs hidden all through there. So these are cool. They're soft plastic, and I think they're perfect accessories for Doctor Strange. I do wish that he came with a couple more, but you know, I'm happy with these two. And then he comes with an open Eye of Agamotto and a closed Eye of Agamotto. To take out the Eye of Agamotto on his chest, all you have to do is just pull it a little bit, and then you're able to bring it out. And then he has a hole in his chest, and that's where you could plug in the closed eye. And it only fits one way, so you have to kind of mess with it, but that looks really good too. I like that we have the option to have the open eye or the closed eye. Some people were kind of mad that they did it like this, but I mean, I'm okay with it. It would have been cool if it was magnetized instead, but you know, it's fine. This way it's certain to stay in. You don't have to worry about it falling or anything, so that's a plus. But then you do have a big hole in Doctor Strange's chest when you don't have it on there, but I don't see why you wouldn't have it on there. And then you have the typical Mezco stand with the Sanctum Sanctorum design on there. So I think that's pretty cool. And of course, you could put the articulated arm into the hole there, and then you're able to pose Doctor Strange on the arm. And in this case, I might actually display Doctor Strange on this, because the way that this attachment works, which is the astral form of Doctor Strange, you have to clip it onto the arm, and then you set Doctor Strange into there. And I wish there was a better way to use this astral form, but this astral form is so cool. Check this out. It's pretty much just a clear Doctor Strange, but it's really, really cool. In some of the promotional pictures, the astral form looked a little bit more white, and I thought that looked pretty cool, and I was kind of unsure when I realized that this was going to be clear, but once I had it in hand, I liked it a lot. Check it out. It looks really, really nice, and you could see the awesome Doctor Strange sculpt right there. And then you have the Eye of Agamotto, and then the cloak and stuff. And yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. And for size comparisons, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Brother Voodoo and Marvel Legends movie Doctor Strange. And now here we have the Mezco Special Ops Punisher and Mezco Symbiote Suit Spider-Man. And next up, we have him next to the Figure Arts Iron Man from Age of Ultron and Figure Arts Civil War Black Panther. And here he is with the Marvel Legends Deadpool from the Sasquatch Wave and the Marvel Legends Magneto from the Apocalypse Wave. And then now here he is next to the Mezco Wolverine and Mezco Modern Captain America. And you can see the Doctor Strange looks a little bit tall, but I'm okay with that. And for the articulation, it's pretty good, but it seems to have less articulation than the average Mezco figure, which was to be expected on this body, but there's a few points of articulation that don't work as good as they should. Even though they're there, they're just not that functional. But let's get into it here. His head is able to move side to side. It has the typical head and neck setup where you have movement where the neck and the head meet, and then where the neck and the torso meet. So you get a lot of nice movement out of there. You could get his head to tilt to the side. You could pretty much get him to look all the way up. You could get him to look all the way down. And then you just have a lot of nice head rotation and movement with the head and neck. And then with the torso, that's where it kind of gets limited, and I'm just not sure what happened. It has the double torso joint, just like most Mezco figures. It has the joint in the mid-torso and then at the waist, but the joint on the mid torso for Doctor Strange really doesn't get any crunch. I've been trying to mess with it and get it to come loose, but it's just not happening. It's pretty much stuck, it feels like. It does twist though, so that's okay. It doesn't really tilt to the side, only a little bit. So that kind of sucks, but the waist kind of makes up for it because you get a lot of nice movement out of the waist. That's pretty much where you're going to get most of your ab crunch and things like that. As you could see, it goes forward to about there. It goes back to about there. So, you know, using both joints, you kind of get some good movement, but this mid-torso joint isn't very good. I do wish it was a little bit better, and that kind of sucks. And then for the arms, it has the joint that just sticks into the torso. It's not like a ball joint here. So you could get his arms to go all the way up to about there, so that's pretty good. And then you could come out to the side. There's no upper bicep swivel, but you do get a swivel at the elbow. Then he has single jointed elbows, which kind of sucks too. I'm not very happy about that, but it is what it is. And like I mentioned, it has the swivel. And then for his hands, he has the hinge and the swivel. For the legs, it seems like the legs work a lot better than they do on other Mezco figures. Let me fix his pants here for a second. But you could get his legs to go all the way out to the side. You can't really get him to do the splits because you might rip the pants. I don't know. I don't want to risk it, but his legs do come out to the side. And then you have the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. You have really nice ankles that swivel side to side and rock side to side. And then they come all the way to the front, come all the way up. And back up here to the hips get really nice movement. Check it out. You could get him into like a sitting pose. And that's really cool for Doctor Strange. So I'm sure a lot of people will be happy about that. So you could pretty much get him into most poses that you might want to. But I do wish that he had more movement in the arms and in the torso. I guess the torso I could take or leave, but the arms I really do wish there was double jointed elbows and just a little bit more movement. It would have been cool if you could get him to like touch the Eye of Agamotto or whatever, but you can't, you know. So that kind of sucks. But other than that, I think the articulation is really good. I like what they did with the legs. So for the most part, I'm happy with it. So overall, I love the figure, but I am slightly disappointed in some aspects of it. I do wish that he had the double jointed elbows, and I do wish that his collar was a little bit cleaner. But other than that, I'm very happy with this figure. I like that he's very posable from the waist down. I love the cape. The cape is amazing, and I really like how that astral form accessory came out. So I think there's a lot of good stuff here going on with Doctor Strange. There's a lot of good potential for taking awesome photographs, and he will definitely look cool on the display shelf. I just don't know if I'll have as much fun posing and playing with them as much as I'd like to, you know. I don't know. I just really wish that he had the double jointed elbows. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking how I could get double jointed elbows in there. I feel like you could take the shirt off possibly and switch out the arms somehow. I don't know. Because the clothes is loose enough, and I feel like maybe someone could pull that off, but I don't know if I'm brave enough. Maybe if I get an extra or something, I would try to do that. But yeah, overall, I'm super happy with this figure, and I really can't wait for the PX version. And I was on the fence about the recently announced fall exclusive version. But I think I am going to try to get that eventually. As some of you might know, it's already sold out, so you could always jump on the wait list for Mezco, or just keep an eye out on all the different online sellers. And on Facebook, people always end up with extras, and hopefully everybody who wants one of those exclusives is able to get it. I'm really curious to know what you guys think about that exclusive, because everybody was saying that they're going to pass on it when it was first revealed, and then once it went up for pre-order, about 30 minutes later, the pre-order was sold out. So I thought that was really interesting, and I like what Mezco did this time around. They only made it 2 per person, so it wasn't like people were going to buy 6 of them and then go try to oversell them like they did with the Special Ops Punisher. So I'm really glad that Mezco's paying attention and they addressed that. And yeah, let me know what you think of that exclusive. I thought it was a really good choice because I don't feel like it was an essential version of the character. It's just a cool variation, and you know, the hardcore Mezco collectors could go out there and get it and be happy with it. And if somebody wasn't able to get their hands on it, it's not the end of the world. It's not Tiger Stripe Wolverine or something essential, you know. So I really like the choice in the exclusive for New York Comic Con, aka the fall exclusive. And what do you guys think about that Twitch broadcast thing that Mezco did? I thought it was really goofy and clunky. It was I don't know, their heart was in the right place trying to do something creative, but I don't think it was executed that good. I thought that they were trying to go for something suspenseful and stuff, and that's commendable. But it's just like, I don't know, the execution wasn't really good. It was like 40 minutes long, and then we just got the one reveal. But I do like the idea of doing hints and having people guess and talk. But I just think it was a little too drawn out, and it kind of frustrated people. It seemed like a lot of people were leaving the group. I sat there like a sucker and waited the whole time. But whatever. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And thank you very much. Peace.